weird things happen on a baseball field.
The story actually started in Detroit.
Ball players never forget.
It's part of the game.
That's how it ended sometimes.
There was a time in Detroit where Roger Craig, my pitching coach, came to the mound. He was telling me everything that was going wrong, or, you know, trying to calm me down and get me to focus. And quite honestly, I didn't hear a word he said, and it was quite obvious to him. So when I came back into the dugout, I think he waited almost 2 innings. I did settle down, and he looks at me and he goes, you know, you didn't hear a word I said that whole time I came out to the mound. And I just looked at him and go, Rod, you're probably right. And of course, his veins popped out of his neck. He was a lot like me. We're very similar in our competitive nature, in our bullheadedness at times. And, you know, he had a different philosophy than I did. He was a former pitcher that threw a lot of breaking balls and soft away. And I wanted to pound everybody in with fastballs until they proved it that they could hit it. So after the game, he kind of reassured me that, my gosh, you know, Jack, listen, I'm not coming out there because I want to come out there. He says, I'm coming out there because I care about you, and I want you to settle down and, you know, refocus. And I go, Raj, I get it. But I said, you've never, ever once come out there when things are going good. So I know when you walk out of the dugout, I'm having a bad day. I don't need you to remind me that I'm having a bad day. I already know that. And he rolls his eyes and said, why don't you do this? I got one favor to ask. And he goes, what? I go, next time you come to the mound, don't say a word. Just don't say a word. I know that I've got to calm down, I got to focus, I got to try to get the next hitter. Those are givens. You don't have to say a word. So a couple starts later, I'm in trouble, and he comes out to the mound, comes right up in front of me and stands there like this, looking at the center fielder. Lance Parrish, my catcher, comes out, and he's just looking at Raj and me, and we're not saying a word. And he's just scratching his head. He's wondering, what the heck are you doing? And the umpire comes out, Roger turns around, goes back to the dugout. And Lance looks at me and goes, what the hell was that all about? I said, just go back there and catch the ball. So I threw like 2 pitches, got an out. And I was out of the inning. And of course, I walked to the dugout, and I've got this goofy looking grin on my face because I can't wait to tell Roger what a great mound visit that was. And I didn't say nothing for an inning, and I just sit next to him, and I could see he's just fuming inside. And finally, I looked over. I couldn't stop the urge, and I looked and go, Raj, that was the best conversation I've ever heard from you. And he looks at me, you SOB. It was just a fun situation. Of course, Lance still, to this day, had no clue what that was about.